It's time for talking about IndyCar. Let's see. Need the stuff. Here we have it. Dixon won. And man, it would be so nice if could have hurt. I could have stayed out longer or ruined the Scott Dixon race even more, and then Marcus Ericsson could have won the race. But man, so many crashes happen in the race. And yeah, maybe this is good or bad. Theo Pourchaire, 10th place. Felix Rosenqvist started, I don't know where, further down here maybe. Finished 8th. And I was hoping that I could maybe win the race, but nope. Then you're thinking, who more was up there that can maybe have won the race? Oh, it felt like, I mean, Alex Palou was up there, and then his tires just went off. Was it Pato Ward? Maybe. Yeah, he was up there. Then something happened, and then he tried to do something, and then he was even further behind after that. But yeah, this was after every start. It was almost a crash, so it then become a new start. Yeah, I not so much stuff that I want to. It was a Monaco race, but it was a lot of crashes. So let's go back to Minecraft and continue the collecting fishes. Oh yeah, how many fish was it? 1,000 1,268. 1,268. Maybe we will get over 1,300. But that we will see. And while we do this, we can have let's see. David Land. But what the heck was that in the car in Detroit review? A lot of crash, I would say. But let's see what you have to say.
Coverage of the Detroit Grand Prix is brought to you by the members of the DL 500 Club. Click the link in the description and join today.
No.
So welcome to the Goofy Pit Lane here in Detroit. Fun weekend until it wasn't a fun weekend. And I guess...
I mean, don't you like so many crashes?
Tell me where you've heard this one before. You start with a chassis that is almost completely indestructible. You could drop an atomic bomb on it and it would keep going. You pair that with a racetrack design that has one real good actual passing zone. And then you put the restart zone just before that one passing zone and have a whole bunch of restarts and a whole bunch of yellows and expect that it's not going to be what we saw today in Detroit. Now before
that, I would actually say it was more interesting to watch that than Monaco in Formula 1. until the end. Then it was not interesting when you saw who won, but until then. So it was opposite Monaco race. Interesting the whole way until the end, then it was boring. Because how it ended. And Monaco was boring all the way until Leclerc won. Then it was interesting.
Right, really, you know, throw some bees out there. Let's give some honey. Because I felt like this race, the Detroit fans have been great. The Detroit area has been awesome. I discovered some new food thanks to Mark Janes. Shout out to the Green Dot, fantastic restaurant. There were a lot of happy, joyful, knowledgeable racing fans here. And from that perspective, there were a lot of people that I'm glad got to see a race. The organizers have done a good job with this race outside of the racetrack design. We'll get back to that, but I think the new winner's circle is fantastic. It's kind of exactly the answer to the complaints that Zach Brown was making. It feels and looks legit. It looks great. The other thing that's really cool about Detroit, I wasn't here last year, remember. I was at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. It's really cool to get up on top of a parking garage and watch Indy cars from a perspective that essentially only VIPs get in places like Long Beach and St. Pete. So I think that's cool. The issue is really the issue is twofold. The driving standards are the worst I think I've ever seen in IndyCar. Just no respect for the cars and the danger of racing as fast as they...
I feel like it was the most crashes I've ever seen. When the crashes is like in the same corner and for the same reasons almost. So weird. Why? What happened?
They do. No respect for the equipment or the crews that work on these race cars.
That ruined Lundgaard's race so much. Because first he crashed into the tire, and when he's leaving, the removing the tire tool got caught when he drove away. He said, man, his race was ruined after that.
Cars, it was just total bumper cars, as bad as I've ever seen it. And, you know, it's not totally on the drivers. It is a lot of it down to the track design. The decision... you know, and again, they're trying to work within, you know, the Renaissance Center behind us, which of course Chevy's leaving in 2025, but at least for now they're working within the confines of keeping the Renaissance Center, the GM World Headquarters, a part of this racetrack. But yeah, the circuit design just does not lend itself to anything except for dive bomb passes and crashes. And if it's not that, it's more or less single file, you know, not a lot of action.
Monaco.
And I say all of this because it kind of goes back to a video that I did earlier this week where I kind of asked, well, why does the interest level fall off the Indy 500? And there's
then you have this race. At least the interest should go up. But for the wrong reasons.
a lot of reasons, or after the Indy 500, and there's a lot of reasons for that, right? It's not just one-fold or two-fold. It's not just because of one reason or the other. I think the fact that the race is on USA Network after the Indy 500 is a big one. But if you tuned in to the Indy 500 and then you tuned into this race, what did you see? Almost nothing that was anywhere similar to what the 6 million folks watched on last Sunday. And it's not even just the fact that, oh, it's a street course. No, that's not the issue. I think if Long Beach was the race after Indy, then you'd have a little bit more of similarity between, you know, what the viewing audience saw at Indy and what the viewing audience saw here at Detroit. And I guess I just sit there and say, you know, the last 50 laps of Indy was about as pure racing as you could get.
Nope.
And the full 100 laps here at Detroit were about as far away from the racing that I want to see as you could get. And it was just, it's hard to it's hard to put into words without being just like excessively negative. And I don't necessarily, believe it or not, I don't want to just sit here and be negative, because I think Detroit is a great city.
No.
I think there were a lot of race fans here and people who maybe haven't checked out racing before, who checked out this race, and a lot of people had a good time. But I did hear, throughout the weekend, whether it was IMSA or IndyCar, I would stand next to people, and they, you could tell they were a little bit novice at racing one way or the other, and they would say, well, they're not really passing on this circuit, or wow, there's a lot of yellows, and there was definitely frustration as the yellows kept going on and more cars were getting turned, and yeah, man, it disappoints me. It disappoints me because I think the series is better than.
Don't hype the fucking IndyCar up. You maybe don't see it, but what you saw in this race, I see it every race. At least in when you're not driving ovals. People just driving after each other. And then that mostly nothing happens. Now stuff happened because people crashed. Made it more interesting.
What was put on today, and I think there are better ways to showcase what these drivers can do, and the contract.
And we saw fucking Scott Dixon from nowhere succeed to fucking win the race. So boring. So yes, we saw how Scott Dixon can get on the win from fucking nowhere.
Like I said, is the last 50 laps of the Indy 500 compared to 100 laps in Detroit. I think that's the best way I can say it. And you had your best showcase for what the series is and the worst showcase of what the series is. So, yeah, I will talk about it a little bit later. I do want to lighten the mood just a little bit because I got an interview that I'm pretty sure nobody else got, but I was really excited to get it. After the race, most of the drivers were pretty upset for many of the reasons I would that I just mentioned. But I did speak to a driver who was not the Indianapolis 500, and in fact hasn't been in an Indy car since 2015, Tristan Vautier. This is what he had to say after his 18th place finish today.
Yeah, it was complete chaos out there. Everybody was going nuts. I mean, I guess it's so hard to pass that you gotta be aggressive to make some stuff happen, but try to stay out of trouble. Kind of managed to. The team took a gamble on strategy, which I think was smart. We didn't manage to pull it off. We were missing a few laps to make it to the end on fuel, and we had to double stint those greens, or almost double stint them, and it was just undrivable at the end. There was
try that for me.
I think they were down to the court, so
that's sad.
Gave it a good go. Didn't work out. P18. I think it was. I'd been out of an IndyCar on the road course for 8 years, so I think. I did a decent job for a comeback, and
Fuck, who's this? Let's see if I can find him. I mean, he said some name, but I didn't listen. That Christian Vautier. Nothing done. That's the only one I don't recognize. So 18th place. Sure.
I hope Dale puts me back in the car soon, and we'll see what happens.
So let's talk a little bit about today's race and give some shout outs to some guys who did actually a good job today.
Theo Pocher, probably.
I mean, obviously the winner, Scott Dixon.
Fuck him. That's so boring.
This is the exact type of race that Scott Dixon typically wins, when it's chaos and everybody else is...
Yeah, so a boring race. A boring ending of an interesting race.
Making mistakes and everybody else is doing everything in their power to do things the wrong way. Scott Dixon typically does things the right way, and that's what we saw today. Marcus Ericsson, I thought, drove a brilliant race to second place today.
He should have won. Or everyone else than Scott Dixon should have won.
I think he was the only driver that wasn't really saving fuel towards the end of the race, and it showed. But Marcus needed that for sure. He needed a recovery after a really rough start to the season, and particularly a rough month of May. So good for Marcus Ericsson, a good setup for the rest of the season. Marcus Armstrong, another podium finish for him, just kind of quietly working up to good finishes here in IndyCar. I guess I said another podium. This is the first points-paying podium. He had one at Thermal, but you know, your mileage may vary on what people think about that particular podium. Will Power, who got turned around at the very start of the race, I believe, I don't know how many penalties he got, but it was a whole lot of penalties, and somehow manages a top 6 finish. So great for Will Power, because I thought he was down and out. A driver that had a couple of drivers had very disappointing days today. Colton Herta was one of them. Last car in the lead lap. Another thing where Herta's at the front and doesn't execute. Gets, knocked behind the race. Palou the same way, although Palou didn't make a mistake on his own. Joseph Newgarden, his pit crew was definitely off their game today, and then Newgarden himself made a mistake, got into the wall, bent the toe link. And it's kind of funny, we talk about all this contact and not a single car out of the race due to contact. The only car out of the race was Christian Rasmussen, who blew an engine. That's another Chevy, if we're...
Yeah, the only one that actually did enough, yeah. And that's good. Don't want to see more Hondas getting ruined. More Chevys, please.
Keeping the tally going on who's blowing engines between Chevy and Honda. Again, thanks to the manufacturers for actually pushing the limits. We appreciate that. Nope. And we will not say anything negative about Chevy for that.
We will. They are so bad. Honda is 100% superior. Just look in Formula 1. Who's won the construction ship the past years? Yeah, the team with Honda.
It happens in big-time auto racing. Sometimes mechanical failures happen. The thing that I thought was probably the most fascinating part of this race was a part of the race where race control kind of I didn't think did a good job at all. I'll go ahead and just go full bird here. Didn't do a good job at all of managing any part of the rain. The race should have gone green about 5 laps before it did, and then the drivers, of course, decided to have their annual crash down into the hairpin over there. But race control really can't control that outside of my suggestion, which is next year in Detroit, every car that crashes, I don't care if it was their fault or not, just yank them off the track, park them, and then we'll actually have a real race maybe here. But yeah, I think a lot of the teams overthought the rain, particularly the 26 and 10 teams, and the 45 and 27 teams actually didn't overthink it. So, it was a cloud burst. Yeah, the track got wet, but it was dry on half of the circuit, and the fact that IndyCar kept the race green as long as they did, or the race yellow as long as they did, it certainly helped the drivers who chose the dry tires.
No, don't say they did that. Fucking lame.
I saw a lot of suggestions on social media about, what to do about this race. At least based on the IMSA schedule for next year, this is going to remain virtually identical. So get ready for that after the Indy 500 next year. The reason they moved from Belle Isle is because the city and the folks who live here year-round wanted to use Belle Isle and wanted to use it in the prime season. And they were complaining. There were complaints about Belle Isle being not able to be used, a large portion of that island, for a long part of the summer. And I guess I understand that. It's definitely a better racetrack than this. And you know me, I'm not going to say too many nice things about Belle Isle. I mean, again, I have heard a suggestion from one of my friends in Milwaukee back in the month of May that again, it's kind of a traditionalist thing to say, but move Milwaukee back to the traditional post-Indy date and move this to Labor Day weekend. Maybe you get some labor unions on board and sponsor it. I could see. I mean, again, the fan in me, and I got to say that fan word very, very quietly. The only place where I see the drivers respect each other anymore in this modern era of IndyCar racing is on the super speedways. I think that's why those races are so good. And I mean, if I were elected king tomorrow, and haha, you don't get elected king, but why can't we go back to Michigan? Even if it's not a 500-mile race, how about a 200-mile, then a 500-mile in the fall? Why not? We'll go there twice. We went to the Indy Road Course twice for 5 years. Let's go to Michigan twice. I don't know. But yeah, I think that it's
I don't know if I've seen Michigan. Probably not, but yeah, who cares? It's in the car.
Fortunate that there was such a huge contrast, more of a contrast than just a typical street race. I mean, this didn't look anything like the Indy 500. And, you know, the last time they ran on Detroit on USA Network, there were more people in attendance at the Indy 500 than watched it on TV. I hope in the very least, with all the drama surrounding Santino Ferrucci, and say what you will about him, a star doesn't have to be a good guy. And I think that Santino's definitely got some star power in this series.
Star power. I think, for me, what I see is someone that talk more than what he actually produces. He's not a driver, he's a talker. And until he, and that I feel like he would stay like that until he leaves the sport. He will never be one of the top guys that will, you can say, oh, that person can win a race.
Like him or hate him, so that's good. Good for Santino, and you know, some of the chirping that happened before the race and then during the race. NASCAR fans like crashes. Maybe they tuned into it for the crashes. I know that's not the kind of race I like to see, though. So definitely a thumbs down for me here. Not to the organizers specifically, but perhaps to the track designer and to the drivers who were kind of put in that box, and to, you know, the idea to put a restart zone in a place where, you know, you have to make a desperate braking move, otherwise you're not going to get around somebody. So yeah, man, a little bit of a bird down, but you know, the rest of the season will be exciting. There's some cool things coming up. I'm definitely looking forward to the return to Milwaukee, and I'm definitely looking forward to Nashville as the season finale. I think that's going to be really cool. I'm not going to be at Road America on site next weekend, although I do have an opportunity. We'll see. I don't want to say anything before anything's signed, but I might actually, I was planning on just staying home next weekend, but I did a little bit of business in the paddock this weekend, and there's a possibility that I'll be at a different racetrack covering a different series on next weekend. So stay tuned for that if that does happen. But this is my little teaser.
They could be maybe more fun in the car. So wonder what he will be watching.
In case that does happen. So
can it be Formula 1? That Canada will be. Let's see, when would Canada? I mean, it will be next week. Let's see, just to make sure, Canada 7 to 9. Yeah, next week. It's this week. So in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days, and the practice starts in Canada. So that's probably what he will be watching.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sure you've already let me know down in the comments section below. I don't even have to ask.
So from my IndyCar channel to a Formula 1 channel.
But let me know what you think down in the comments section below of the Detroit race. Can we call it a race? I'll use the word race lightly, because at least the last 20 laps they did race.
At least it was more a race than Monaco was. That was not a race. This was a crash race simulator. How to crash after every new start of the safety car.
And Marcus Ericsson at least made it exciting. So yeah, a race at the...
no, fuck me. Damn it.
Detroit, I almost called it Belle Isle. The downtown Detroit. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, and Scott Dixon made it boring. Man, it's so boring to see someone just from nowhere win the race when someone else could have won it. Let's go away with that. And then we have, let's see, before it maybe the spawn. Wouldn't it be fun? we pick it up. See, can we put them down? Okay, we can take 3, 6, 9, 12 more in the shulker box. Oh, I need a bucket also. Well, then I need 5 more. And then we just have the inventory to fill up, and then I will go back to the storage and add hopefully more than, let's say, 2, oh my god, 32. And I usually place down 36. No, I will not get over 300. It's like 8 or more fishes that will be a copy from what I already have. Okay, but we will see. Where do we have race view of Monaco? Go from one boring race view review from IndyCar to oh well, all the crashes in IndyCar I would say made it interesting. Sadly, it just happened one time in the Monaco race. So let's see what the 2024 Monaco Grand Prix race review from P1 Podcast have to say. And they will have maybe nothing to say. Maybe something about the beginning and then the end. Nothing in the middle. Oh shit, we need sound.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the P1 Podcast with Matt and Thomas James Bellingham. Yes, we are here and you might be able...
And I will probably just celebrate the Leclerc won a race in Monaco. Nothing else is... You know, what else do you say?
...to tell. My voice is on its last legs. I have been screaming. I mentioned this in Funniest Tweets, which you would have maybe seen yesterday, but yeah, I actually, you know, we don't watch many races together, but we went to an event at an F1 arcade, and it was quite special, actually, you know, being there.
Yeah, the only thing that was special was being there, not watching Formula 1. Let's see, is that... No, not a new fish for the collection. So that's... Man, that was been boring to watch the race. Maybe not being there.
Together as a family and watching Charles Leclerc win the Monaco Grand Prix. Oh, I'm going to be insufferable. Lock in, get your seatbelts on.
Yeah, it's a shame the race was abysmal, to say the least. But and this is coming from the biggest Monaco fan, but we'll dive into it later. But it was cool to watch with other Formula One fans and yourself, fans. Of course. Of course.
Right, no, that's fine. Yeah, it's cool.
And of course, like you've waited a long time for a Leclerc victory. It's been too long, I think, to say the least. And what a way to do it.
Yeah, Austria 2022, even though Crofty, I saw in commentary, said Australia 2022, and I'm like, bruv, come on, that's not correct. It hasn't been that long, but it still has felt like a very long time since Charles Leclerc won a race, and I cannot believe he still only has 6 wins to his name.
Maybe you should mention Lewis Hamilton also in that. How long time was that?
But he has added one to his tally, and let's dive straight into my most memorable moment.
I think it's Saudi Arabia 2021. But to make sure we can look it up. F1. Yes, I should be. No. We need to go this way. And then we go 2021, and let's see. Here we have Saudi Arabia, Lewis Hamilton, the winner. And it's also the last race. He won. Isn't that amazing? Lewis Hamilton, the floppy fish. And also George Russell have won a race in between that race and now. So he must be really happy in being in a Mercedes now.
Which is Leclerc winning in Monaco.
No, surely not.
Yes. Absolutely. Oh, the emotion. Like, it was the worst race I think I've ever seen. But the ending, the result was perfection. It's a weird one as well.
Though the ending was perfection. Everything about, everything outside, you can say, is good. Not the race. The race ending was equally interesting as the 5th lap. He was still in lead.
Oh, because at one part of my brain's going, this is in the bag from lap 2. Like, this is done. This is dusted. This is Monaco. But on the other side, you go, there could be 1,000 different things that go wrong.
It could, but nothing happens, so no.
Thankfully, none of those 1,000 things went wrong, and Charles Leclerc won the Monaco Grand Prix. Did you know?
Probably because the pit stop happened when it was red. And not in the actual race. Then it could maybe have gone so much worse.
That.
He sure did. And actually,
he did.
And this is not to take anything away from him, because he deserves the victory.
I swear to God, if you take anything
No,
away
I'm
from
not
him,
taking anything away from him.
He deserved it,
No,
but
no,
the
no.
Monaco race was still boring.
But what I'm saying is, like, essentially, and he deserves some luck, because my God, is he an unlucky Formula 1 driver. Everything went right, really. You know, the fact that he's been on
too much right. So that he didn't even have to do a pit stop in the actual race. Well, that's some really lucky stuff.
pole before at Monaco, and there was this whole narrative of like, well, what can go wrong? Like, there's so many things can go wrong at Monaco. You're vulnerable when you're in the lead. Things can happen. So, firstly, essentially, the red flag, meaning, well, he's got it in the bag because it's a no-stop race.
And that I would say is really weird, because they never finished. The red flag was before they finished on lap. So couldn't you say that the race never started? So everyone will start a race again, and then need to do a pit stop then after that to start. That will make the race actually interesting. And sadly they didn't do that.
Secondly, Carlos Sainz getting reinstated, so he's not essentially...
That's also weird. Like, that happened. So why not start the race from the start then? 2
McLarens to deal with together, which could have made the race interesting and added variety because they could have worked together or done some kind of strategy potentially. Even things like Lance Stroll and his tyre coming off just as it entered the pits, and it went into the pits, so there was no safety car. And I say all this like I'm saying that he got some good fortune, but he deserves it because he should have won the Monaco Grand Prix before.
True.
And through no fault of his own in 2022, should have won it, didn't. And we've said many times that it is a race you can win on Saturday, and he basically did that. But it's not to take anything away from him because it was a brilliant weekend.
Fuck me. Time, go away. Fuck me. Need to take the sound off also. I mean, I don't know, any people are complaining that he won. The big complaint is how boring the race was. And how, I mean, what's more fun? Win a race when something happens, or win a race when nothing happens? Like, how many people will actually rewatch that race to see every lap again when he's in the lead and nothing happens? Probably nobody. Remember the biggest Leclerc fan maybe will do it. I will not do it.
Not to take anything away from him because it was a brilliant weekend and the guy deserves it.
Still no more fishes.
We have this banter of me sort of, joking about Leclerc and his misfortune just to wind you up. But what I will say is, the emotion of him winning Monaco, all the stuff you've heard about, like, for a guy from Monaco to win the Monaco Grand Prix, it's special enough anyway to win Monaco, but for it to be a home race as well, really.
Yeah, and sadly, it was the most boring race that could ever have been on, and that is his memory of the win also. So, I mean, the win could have been so much more amazing for him, but nope, it was in the most boring race ever that he won the race.
Really, really special moment. Really, really deserves it.
Keep going.
Yeah, nobody denies.
Love to hear that.
He
and not only that,
it.
Of course, the emotion of him thinking about his dad. He mentioned that after
definitely.
the race, that he was thinking about his dad, thinking about Jules, just all of these people that have been a part of his life that he's tragically lost, and it was such a beautiful crescendo of.
True, but still, it was the most boring race. So it's like all this good memory. Oh, there we have a new fish for the collection. Man, so lame. Yeah, but winning like that in the most boring race ever, and then it could have been so much better, but it wasn't.
Something that he deserved. He deserved to win the Monaco.
The fuck is this? Who has said that he doesn't deserve to win it? People are probably complaining how boring that the race he actually won the race was. A really boring race.
The Grand Prix, you could see how much it meant to him when he was out of the car, and in his team radio he was screaming, and he had to compose himself in the post-race interview, and that is what I live for when it comes to not just Charles Leclerc but Formula One. We saw it with Lando Norris, how much it meant to him in Miami. These storylines are something that you kind of get robbed of when
the race is super boring, yes.
Someone dominates all the time. You think,
or when the race is super boring and nobody cares.
Winning an F1 is just another day at the office, and that's no disrespect to Verstappen or Hamilton or whoever. That's just them doing the job. But when you do have these other drivers that have never won a race before, never won at their home Grand Prix, it just such a feel-good moment. And that's the reason why my voice is in absolute tatters. Is
For
because
some reason.
obviously we were in F1 Arcade, there were other people there, then they all started cheering, and I was just like, right. And I just started screaming my head off. And
Why?
yeah, I wondered about what could go wrong, and thankfully nothing did.
It's crazy. It's only his fourth Monaco Grand Prix in a car that you could even argue not even capable of winning the race, because 2021 he stuck it on pole, but I don't think that car was a race-winning car. He's just so good at Monaco as well. I think it is awesome that it is almost like his best track. I know he's got this like awful record beforehand, but that is down to a bit of bad luck, and these things can happen at Monaco. But in terms of just like raw speed, he's so good. Even when the car isn't, championship winning or whatever, like he has delivered and shown that he is the fastest around it. He just needed
Can we talk about the race?
some good fortune to go his way, or not.
It's a race review, not a driver review. The fuck
Not
is
even
this?
just good fortune, just not bad luck, and that's exactly
Yeah,
what
just
happened.
not horrendous luck and race-changing
No, one more fish
moments,
for the collector.
not in his favour. And also, we learned as well that Charles Leclerc could easily be an Olympic diver after Ferrari's video that they posted of Charles pushing Fred in and then jumping in after him. Honestly, the form on that bloke, is there anything he's actually not good at?
That is exactly what I watched that, and like Fred jumps in, and then Charles just does this like perfect Olympic dive, and I'm like, that guy is like one of those like insufferable people at school that's good at everything, and you're like, why are you so good at stuff?
Even you quote tweeted saying like, how has he dived in and still kept his hat on? Like, it's things like that. It just, I'm going to look perfect at all times, no problem. First question or just comment from P1 Patreon member Ali. So, championship back on? Thinking face and then laughing face.
Nope.
Look. Okie dokie.
It is not.
31 points is easily surmountable. Now, are Ferrari the quickest car?
Nope.
No. Are
He
they
can maybe win Azerbaijan, but
likely
nothing
to
more.
be the quickest car at any point? No. Am I going to believe that Charles Leclerc is going to become world champion? Yes. Because it is mathematically possible. And look, we're off the back of 3 race weekends where
One more
Red
fish
Bull
for the
have been
picture.
beatable. This isn't a one-off. We saw it in Imola. We saw it in Miami before that. And then, of course, today in Monaco. And I know that when we go to these more open tracks, I'm sure that they will be quickest. But my brain's going, maybe, just maybe, we've actually got some sort of battle on our hands here, which I know is going to be clipped up when Max Verstappen wins by 200 points at the end of the year. But right now, there is a small, tiny glimpse of belief here that if Red Bull have, for the rest of the season, half where they're amazing, half where they're not.
They were not.
If you throw in a Ferrari team that is probably the most efficient team out there at the moment in terms of both drivers being in the mix. Carlos Sainz hasn't finished outside the top 5 when he's driven. Charles hasn't finished outside the top 4. They are picking points up left, right and centre. And if Ferrari bring a good upgrade, and I'm in. I'm absolutely in. Charles Leclerc, world champion 2024.
Wow. Look, they surprisingly, and sorry to like mention this, but they would have been hoping that this form, like I'm sure a lot of people will be going like, why were we not doing this in 2022 when we had a car that was capable of beating Red Bull and probably had the fastest car at the start of the year? Because the problem was they were throwing away points, whereas now it's flipped completely the other way, where they are the team that are getting the maximum every single weekend, really. And Charles done that as well. Done what he could, best of the rest, behind like the Red Bulls, obviously picking up second behind Sainz in that race, and he's just delivered.
Yeah, but I believe more they will succeed better next season. Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton will, I believe, get in the construction ship for Ferrari. Maybe not the championship, but the construction ship will most likely happen if they make a equally good car. or better for next season.
Like a very consistent championship so far. I don't think anyone would have predicted in 8 races time that Charles Leclerc would be almost just over a race win of Max. I don't think anyone would have seen that, particularly after Bahrain when Red Bull was so far clear. I think it's a stretch, but stranger things have happened. But I think Constructors' Championship, Perez is now down in 5th in the championship.
That's not a good look for him. And hopefully he will, I mean, at least be on podium. Come on, Perez. What are you doing?
I don't think it's an absolute wild possibility to think that Ferrari could win the Constructors.
Probably not this year, but next year, most likely.
Consistency of those two drivers.
I mean, it's Carlos Sainz and undercar. Come on, don't believe too much.
Drivers, they're so consistent, both of them.
24 points behind Red Bull are Ferrari. As you say, Perez down to 5th. And I know that
Consistency, yeah. Did you see Carlos Sainz, how he almost ruined his race in Monaco? And then saved by the red flag? Didn't you watch the same race? Oh yeah, you did, because you mentioned it before.
Would I take the constructors over the drivers? Absolutely not.
No.
But it will still make for a fascinating storyline if Perez continues to struggle. He's now, we'll get into the incident of lap 1, but I'm not. Obviously, he's put himself in that situation from qualifying, so it's not like he was completely not to blame in terms of being involved in.
And the Carlos Sainz was almost one more try then. Have they changed how they shoot the trident? Because, man, the zombies are shooting them fast now. And still no more trident. So boring. But yeah, if the red flag didn't happen, Carlos Sainz will be near Perez.
Something. But yeah, Ferrari, firing on all cylinders. I am fully backing Fred Vasseur. I would trust him with my life. That man is clearly very capable of leading Ferrari, but also
Toto Wolff in Mercedes. Do you think the same about him? Or have the good times been and it will just go downhill now?
Incredibly likable. He's making Ferrari a very, Ferrari, everyone loves Ferrari no matter whoever you're a fan of, but it's almost like you love Ferrari, the allure, but there's almost that level of likability that McLaren...
When Lewis Hamilton joins, it will be even more that.
Kind of bring, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that Fred is just playing his own personality
during the Miami celebrations and little moments like that. I love it.
When would you have ever seen a Ferrari team boss jump into the Monaco harbour?
Well, yeah, exactly. Like that wasn't the Jean Todt vibe, was it? Like of that, they were very
similar
serious,
heights, but that was about it.
But the thing is, you could argue that if the results weren't coming, you'd go, "Oh, Fred, like stop clowning about and stuff." But they're
celebrating with McLaren, Fred. Chill.
Yeah, exactly. But they are delivering, so they can show that they can have this fun, relaxed attitude. But they are sorting things out. We've not seen stupid strategies. They are delivering the maximum.
And as well with that, the change.
Why? But we can say they didn't have to do it in Monaco. The red flag made so they couldn't make a mistake with pitting. The bigger mistake they could have done is trying to get Leclerc into the pit and then ruin his race.
You're saying making changes. Charles's radio engineer that he now has so much more concise,
so much better.
Just so much better. No more we are checking.
Yeah.
It's we are not interested. That's what it is.
Well, the new, do you call it, on the radio, he is actually saying checking also. but maybe not equally much. Or the question doesn't appear equally much. Or maybe it's the FIA or F1 that doesn't play them when he say checking.
Charles asks, no, Charles, shut up and drive is basically what they were saying. And it's just streamlined. It's in Imola, you had him basically G'ing up Charles. You're doing a great job. Like, all these things that you might think are tiny, tiny things, but they all add up. And I think that is definitely something that Charles will then entrust in Ferrari if they can continue to deliver like that. So, we're fully in belief mode now. Red Bull finished. Next question, Polski Polak.
Mercedes is finished. Red Bull is not close to be finished. You will 100% know how finished Red Bull is after 2026 start. Then you know if Red Bull is finished, but not now. Now it's Mercedes just the finished team, and Ferrari is the team that will be fighting them next season.
_2. We've had 4 winners in 8 races so far this season. God, that sounds good to say out loud. Has this start already exceeded our expectations for the season? By my last comment, you probably know where I'm going with that. And does it give us hope going forward?
Nope.
Yes, I don't think we're going to have 4 out of the whole year. And we're in 4 and 8, which I will absolutely take.
That's more than last year, right? Already?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was Sainz
just
and
Sainz, Perez, and Verstappen,
and Red Bull, which is utterly. I don't want to think about that ever again in 2023. But I don't think it's the end of this. We've got McLaren still looking. I'm actually, if McLaren were closer, especially with Lando, closer in the Drivers' Championship. Lando's 56 points behind Max Verstappen. If he was where Charles is now, I would be getting very excited if I was a McLaren fan.
For the high-speed tracks and things like that.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, McLaren, I don't think many of us thought that McLaren would be just as good as they were around here, which I think is really promising for them moving forward, that they can challenge almost week in, week out. But yes, it does give us hope. I think Piastri's going to get a win at some point. If he can stick it on pole in Singapore or something, absolutely. I don't think there's too many tracks that will suit Oscar's very aggressive nature, which then at the end of the race, we saw it even today, didn't we, that he fell off a cliff because of that. Just that level of not being able to manage the tyres as well as the drivers around him. But that being said, yeah, Oscar had a fantastic weekend. And I think
hopefully Oscar Piastri will become better with that. I mean, at least next season it hopefully will be no more tyre problem.
I think he will make it 5 different winners at some point.
Or maybe you should start the races without trying to get past everyone in the start.
I would like to think. And then
hope so.
And save the tyres.
Yeah, very much hope so. I mean, again, yeah, four winners in 8 races. Start the season, it looked like, oh, he can't win every race, and now we're here.
He can't.
Where, yeah, he's already kind of, he hasn't. And
he can win the rest of
Red
all
Bull,
the races.
I think they will improve, like you say, but this is maybe a bit of my Max fanboy coming out here, but I do think the Red Bull is nowhere near as dominant as Formula 1 cars that we've seen in the past, and it is Max driving exceptionally well. And it is down to a lot of Max that's made that Red Bull look so dominant and bulletproof and like, oh, they're just so clear, but it's always a different person, and he stepped up, like in Imola, for example. But Monaco was a disaster for them really. True. And there will be other races like that, like Singapore. It's not just going to be that one race.
If it's happening in Singapore again, hopefully Oscar Piastri can win it.
This season there could be more. So it's our expectations were through the floor.
That I would say, Azerbaijan, could Charles Leclerc win? Yeah, somewhat copium. That's Oscar Piastri can win Singapore, and then we have Lando Norris in Silverstone, and then the rest can Max Verstappen win.
And now it's like, and I think that has helped, where it's kind of like oh wow, this is actually like not a bad season so far.
What's going on
so
here?
far.
And that's off the back of one of the worst Grand Prix we've ever seen. But overall, from a championship perspective, game on. Charles Leclerc, come on, baby, you can do it. Okay, Tommy, I mean, do you have any other most memorable moments? I guess there's only one,
Yes,
really.
the only thing that happened. It was, of course, the lap 1 crash.
Yeah, and Kevin Magnussen, for some reason, don't get any points for that. That's so weird. But who knows, he maybe will do nothing bad now. Oh wait, he did. So he will try to maybe not to do anything bad, but he will probably do that, and then we will see if it can finally be any race bad for Kevin Magnussen.
There's kind of two parts to this. There was, which we'll get into. Yeah. So
Tommy, pop off.
So the first bit of this, like the first lap crash, was, oh my word, like that is a big one, because.
And also, before you saw the crash, I thought it was, no, don't say the red flag, because Carlos Sainz couldn't get the car, I don't know, couldn't back the car or something. But then you saw the crash, and then I realized, okay, now I understand the red flag.
It took so long for them to show the actual incident. We were racing all the way like past the tunnel, and then it cut to Perez's car that was like completely. I thought he'd been like in the catch fencing or something, or like upside down, because all the wheels had gone. Like you rarely see a Formula One car that destroyed.
Lando Norris crash in Spa. ...2021, maybe. Sebastian Vettel was still in Formula 1. And got really annoyed when they didn't stop the red flag, and then the crash happened.
And then, like the craziness of that, the Ocon incident, and we'll get into that in a sec, but then also the fact that my instant thought, once I knew everyone was okay and it was a red flag, I was like, oh no, they can change tyres, that's the race done.
Oh no, yeah.
Which again, we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, the lap 1 crash was
spoiler.
chaotic.
You're making it sound like we've got a lot to talk about from this Monaco Grand Prix.
This is
nothing good, but a lot of stuff.
This is the only incident, because it is literally the only thing that happened.
Well, you can say 2 incidents. Ocon and Gasly, and then Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah,
and
what a chaotic start. It was wild.
I will go back to your point about it being so long to see the incident, and I do wonder if, and I said this in Funniest Tweets, where I wonder if they were focusing on the
Funniest tweets. It was 3 funny tweets, and the rest was filler.
And obviously, they don't want to cut away from the front immediately. They've seen the crash and gone, holy cow, Perez's car is not in a good state here. Let's just make sure he's okay before we then cut to the scene, which is what I think they did when he was out the car. So I think that's
of course,
my understanding of what that reason of that was. It did feel weird, obviously, because usually at any other track you'd see it in the background and they would cut to it, whereas
and also it's so
Monaco,
long before they're going to get round to that point again that you don't need to throw a red flag immediately, because there's going to be no cars coming past that for another minute or so.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they did the right thing with that, because it was quite a visibly scary thing to see, and so glad to see all drivers okay.
I still don't see this scary stuff. I mean, from when I started the great year 2021, the great end season Abu Dhabi. From my opinion, I don't feel like the drivers are in real danger. I mean, with the halo and all this safety stuff. When someone crashes, I don't see, oh shit, is the person okay? I mean, these people have maybe been in the era when drivers could actually still die in the car. So I don't see why they always talk about what I see, but I mean, yeah, what can you say? I mean, the car is so safe. They most likely will not die. I mean, like, can maybe still happen, I don't know. But I never get the feeling that, man, is the driver, I mean, the driver can get some nasty, I mean, like the Max Verstappen in 2021, from going really fast to then slowing down really fast. I mean, that could be something. God damn it, how many times can I miss? It's something like with IndyCar. I've never seen someone die in the IndyCar either. It's just like, for me, I have the feeling that nothing have happened, almost. That everyone is always okay, even how bad the crash is.
Now let's go to the part where we need to discuss, although I'm not sure much discussion or deliberation or arguing will happen here. Who was at fault? K-Mag, Perez, or a racing incident? This...
Like me 50-second ad. Let's buy. Oh no, I can skip it for 5 seconds. No, it was one more. 2 ads in a row. 3 ads in a row. Fuck me. Can we get a 4th ad, please? Nope. That's sad.
Who was at fault? K-Mag, Perez,
one more fish,
or a racing incident? This is one of the most audacious, ridiculous, and quite frankly, verging on silly, for want of a better word, move to have done from Kevin Magnussen. What is he doing? Has he booked an all-inclusive holiday somewhere?
He have. But that's happening next season. For now he's just driving and having a lot of fun in the F1 car. Until he will get fired and get the next season off.
Where else during the Canadian Grand Prix week?
And probably every season after that.
Because that's the only thing I can think of. He's 2 points away from a race ban, and the bloke has sent it up the inside, not really, but enough to obviously make contact with Perez up the hill. Now, he said in his post-race interview, my front left was in line with Perez's right rear. Yeah, mate, but it was, and then you lost the back end slightly coming out of turn 1. Then you got a little bit better of a launch and back sort of again by his rear wheel. But bruv, you're in Monaco. What are you doing?
That question can be asked against Esteban Ocon also. On his own teammate. And he ruined the car.
And he knows the walls, the barriers go like this. It's not a straight line that's really easy to go side by side. Okay, Perez could have given him a slight bit more room on the left. But why would he? Why would he think in anyone's right mind that they would go side by side? Perhaps if he'd ID'd the driver and seen it was K-Mag, he might have done so. But maybe in that moment he didn't. just ridiculous. K-Mag, I can't believe he did not get a penalty. It was no further investigation.
Yep.
Like, are you serious, FIA? And I know Tommy's got a lot to say on this.
3 points for Alonso because he just pushed Carlos Sainz somewhat, and nothing for Kevin Magnussen.
But I can't believe he got away without a penalty. I do feel sorry for Perez, but it was Perez's qualifying that brought him into that mess. So from a racing perspective, like, it is kind of Perez's fault. But from the incident itself, that is a K-Mag slam dunk. See you after Canada because you're banned.
Indeed, yeah. Like, watching it, it was a bit like, of course, Perez got a worse run out of the corner, but the move was never on. And okay, if it's the main straight in Baku that's about 6 cars wide and is a straight, then yeah, make that move, go alongside, and you've got every opportunity there. But everyone knows that that part of Monaco, it's not a straight, it like twists and turns. So it is so brave.
Kevin Magnussen maybe doesn't know that. Feel like somewhat mean to think that everyone knows the tracks when they're in Formula 1.
To stick your nose in. And the most ridiculous thing with K-Mag, and this is what annoys me about the penalty point system, we'll get into this, but the whole point of penalty points is that you get banned, and it's meant to be a kind of thing that is put in place to stop you from driving recklessly and being involved in crashes. So when you are one incident away from a race ban, why are you sticking your nose in such a brave move? Because you can say all you like that Perez has kind of got a worse run off the corner, and if Magnussen had been on no penalty points, then it's still a dumb thing to do, and it's a bit ridiculous. True. But you kind of go, oh, okay, well, see why I did it. But the whole point of penalty points is that it's meant to stop drivers from making consistently dangerous driving and causing.
And he still do it, so they should ban him for life. One more fish for the collection. And also not a one race ban. It should be a season ban.
Crashes. So how can they say that penalty points is stopping Kevin Magnussen from doing reckless and dangerous driving?
And then they still don't give him points to ban him.
Because the whole point of it is it's meant to. And they are racing drivers at the end of the day. They're all like this. We say this with the sprints, don't we? And when they're battling over, like, not even a point, they're racing drivers and they want to go for moves. But the whole point of penalty points is it's meant to be like, you know what? I'm up the inside of Perez. The wall's closing in here. I'm on 10 penalty points. It's lap 1 of a 78-lap race. Maybe I should back out. No.
Maybe
I've
not.
also taken my teammate out in this incident. Brilliant. But... yeah.
That was so amazing. Not even he did that move against Perez. Then he succeeded to push, making teammate also be part of the crash.
Good, is it?
Almost 140 IQ. Okay, Magnussen. How much damage can you do before you actually get a race ban, or the team will not have you anymore?
It's just, I was actually fuming on the watch along about the decision.
I know you were.
As well.
I feel like you've chilled out a little bit because you were about to say some crazy things.
Well, the next question is more like in relation to that, I think. But okay. for the actual thing of who was at fault, yeah, like it's way more on K-Mag because you have to know when it's time to back up the move.
P1 Patreon member Erin comes in with a question: should the FIA redesign the penalty point system? They've made it very clear that no one will ever get banned, so what's the point?
True.
Yes.
They should make so you can actually get 10 points. So you can ban them.
either
That's
that,
your rant.
yeah, I mean, either that or they've just. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it, to be honest with you, because you've highlighted it already,
One
Tommy.
more
that
fish.
They seem to throw penalty points out like no tomorrow when people have a clean license or anywhere up to about 9, and then they go, well, actually, I don't think you deserve a penalty for T-boning someone straight into the barrier. No,
Sure.
I don't think you should get a point for that.
Right, okay, I'm going to pop off now. This is
give
what
it to me.
pisses me off, right?
Ooh.
Watching
Alonso getting 3 points. And then Kevin Magnussen 0 points.
Hello?
I was watching the race, and I watched the Ocon and Gasly incident, and it reminded me that Pierre Gasly was so close to a race ban, and I said then there's no way they'll ever ban it, and they had their crash. Gasly, I don't want to see anyone banned either, just to make that completely.
Ban Kevin Magnussen,
I don't have an agenda against any driver. I don't want to see.
I have. He's fucking Danish. Fucking ban him.
Any driver get banned from Formula.
Also, Mick Schumacher didn't have his drive.
Formula One, like
Unless they deserve it.
But if
and also fuck Haas, because they fired Mick Schumacher.
If that they are the rules, then and that is the system in place, then the whole point of it is it should encourage people to not do silly driving. And in Australia last year, Gasly did a completely unsafe rejoin in front of his teammate. They smashed into each other, and you knew exactly what they'd do. Oh, they're teammates, it doesn't matter. Ocon hits Gasly in this race, and he gets a penalty within about 3 seconds. Conveniently, Gasly's not on 10 penalty points anymore, or like Ocon was on 10 penalty points, otherwise they wouldn't have given it to him. And the first lap incident thing also makes no sense, because as soon as it was on the first lap, I was like, well, that is a get out of jail free card for them immediately, because they always feel like they can be a bit more lenient on first lap. But then if they are lenient on first lap, why has Ocon got a penalty so quickly and they've decided it?
Kevin Magnussen doesn't get it, but Ocon gets it. That's so rigged.
In 0.1 of a second.
Yeah, he got a 10-second penalty, and the bloke's not even in the car. He's out the race, and he's got a 10-second penalty.
Yeah, but again, like, they decided it so quickly. They're like, no further action. I'm sorry. Is this penalty point system not meant to, like I said, like, stop drivers from doing consistent errors? So the whole point of it should be that someone like K-Mag just chills the F out for a bit until he's back on, like, 5 or 6 penalty points, but he won't, and it just makes a mockery of the system. I don't
see some ban, please.
It's just ridiculous. Actually, it's just proved my point completely that they'll never do it, and they will,
maybe that's what Kevin Magnussen is trying to show. Even how bad you even drive, you will never get a race ban. But that would be so funny if he actually do something bad again in Canada, and they still doesn't do anything. Maybe get him 1 point.
He could just do it again, and they'll just be like, oh, okay. Oh, well, no, actually, it's no penalty points. And then Fernando Alonso makes a move in a sprint race and gets 3, which is a quarter of the way to getting a race ban. But which
for
sounds
the tiniest touch in China on Carlos Sainz that forced Carlos slightly wide, and he got 3 penalty points for that. K-Mag has sent Perez sideways up Monaco Hill and caused one of the biggest crashes we've seen this year.
Yeah, exactly. He was already on loads.
And he didn't get one. None.
And how many should he have got in Miami as well? Because there were multiple incidents, and they just gave him 3. So he got the same. He got the same as Alonso.
3? I can't remember, but
they gave him 3 for the whole race. And he did how many things? He cut the corner. He crashed into someone. Loads of things. They'll never do it. And just, I guess, thank you FA for proving my point that you're never going to ban someone. So.
Or maybe thank Kevin Magnussen that he drives so bad that it shows how bad FIA give out the points.
Oh, baby. Tommy's out, and he's out with an absolute roar. Right, next question. P1 Patreon.
No! Okay, there we have the fourth. No. The fourth ad. And we can skip it.
P1 Patreon member Abu Dhabi 2021 Survivor asks, is Ocon getting fired or just suspended?
Fired.
Now that was coming out of Bruno Faman and a translated quote, I believe.
Probably not for this season, but the next season he will probably be fired.
Was it not?
Yes.
So apparently he threatened consequences.
Because Ocon will keep driving like he have always been driving. Ruin the race for his teammate. And then he will be banned from Alpine.
Ocon's move on Gasly. Now, what those consequences will be, I don't know. I mean, that would be quite something if they benched Ocon.
Sky were really like trying to twist what it actually was, where it was like, oh, and he was seen talking to Jack Doohan. It's like, yes, it's their reserve driver. Like, was he meant to ignore him for the rest of the day?
Why not? I mean, it will show maybe something if he didn't talk.
Maybe. But yeah, I can't. I'm sure he was just fuming at the time. Shouldn't really be saying that anyway if he's not going to follow through with it, because that's quite, unless he's just threatening Ocon to fall in line. But I don't know.
It probably is.
It just that
I see. It could be just he want to make it public that Ocon is now on a really thin line. So if he crosses it again, he is gone. 100% gone. To hopefully make him not make mistakes like he do. But it's Ocon, and he will make it again. And one more fish for the collection.
that whole move was just quite something, wasn't it, from Ocon? Because apparently, according to Gasly, it seemed like there were some orders in place that they don't do that thing of battling like they did in Miami in Monaco, because there's literally no point. But Ocon decided to send one up the inside anyway, because why not? Try and show who's better. Like their relationship is so hilarious to watch.
It is
we're
hilarious.
Fine.
Oh,
yeah,
DTS are
we're
loving
good.
life right now.
We're good. We're friends now. Everything in the past is behind us.
Yeah, now it's super fake.
They put their racing helmet on and they're like, okay, let's go. And then they will fight till the absolute last millimetre and then some, and Ocon will go flying and then be out of the race. It's just a fascinating teammate relationship that never should have happened, and yet they're in the same team.
Yeah, I mean, Alpine in the first place, like, yeah, let's put these two together. What could go wrong? And
one more fish.
They've crashed once before. They somehow avoided each other in Miami, but it was incredibly close racing, and it was one of those moments where you're just like, these two, all they want to do is beat each other. They do not care about anything else, it feels.
About Ocon, you can say that. And you can say Gasly maybe want to beat Ocon also, but not on the same level. Ocon wanna beat every teammate he have ever had. So Ocon is the bad guy in this. No zombie with a trident. Nope.
It's like, and
they would rather finish 7th and 8th.
Ocon, you mean?
With the other person, whichever driver finishing ahead of them, than finishing 1-2, and then that person finishing second. Yeah. It's insane that they do not put the team first at all.
No.
You mean Ocon?
No, and this just proved it. And Ocon, you know, apologising and stuff. By the end of the day,
did he apologise? I missed that.
He did. Well, he did a tweet saying like, his tweet was very much like Bruno had a gun to his head while he was tweeting it.
Today's instant was my fault. The gap was too small in the end, and I apologise to the team on this one, hoping for a deserved points finish for the team today.
Yeah, that was a like. I'm surprised he didn't write that out multiple lines like he was in detention.
It was my fault. It was my fault. It was my fault.
But we go on about Fred and being like this lovable team boss. Could it be any more different to Alpine? And then basically being like, yeah, I am fuming. We're going to have strong words. I'm going to threaten that, you know, you're going to potentially be fired or whatever, or however they translated it.
Consequences.
Consequences. There will be consequences.
Ocon will not.
And Ocon will probably show what consequences it is, because he will keep driving like it.
Have dessert at dinner.
There will be no. Yeah, exactly. I don't think for a second they'll suspend him. That would be absolutely outrageous. And the last thing Alpine need when they are sort of making a bit of progress now and getting through the field is just more kind of drama and chaos, really. They don't
more drama, or maybe they remove a lot of drama and just remove him. Wouldn't that be a good thing?
need it. They just need to like get on with it. And I know it's like laughable, and DTS will milk it and for everything it's worth, but they do just need to like put it behind them and just say, you know what, it's done now, get on with it, and don't happen again. And then we'll see them go side by side at the next race. What is it? Spain 100%. Next race? Turn 1.
Canada.
Why not? Canada, sorry, yeah. The calendar's confusing me now. I need to recheck it.
Next question comes in from O2 Rachel Rebecca. Should there be a rule that if there's a restart on the first few laps, you still have to do a mandatory pit stop?
True, that it should be. At least if it's actually the first lap, they get red flag. I mean, then it have never been on the lap. So why not?
Now, I understand where the reasons for being able to do whatever you want to the car to fix.
Then why even the race start on?
Fix it, to change tyres. I think the problem here is that it ticks off the mandatory pit stop part. I don't see what the benefit is of doing that side of things. Like, a lot of people go, oh, you shouldn't be able to... Like, we've had it in the past, haven't we, with Monaco, and was it Vettel was really struggling on tyres or something? Or I can't remember who it was. Or
Monaco 2011, it won in the race because he could just have that free stop at the end on the red flag.
And fine, that is... I think that's the same as having a safety car or not. You get lucky, whatever, you can change tyres.
Yeah.
Because you never know in a red flag, if you pick up debris, it will get very difficult if not. But...
And that is also my opinion. If you want to change anything on the car, you do it after people start driving out the pit lane. So if you want to change the tires, you have to change the tires when it's green light and everyone is going. So do you want new tires? Fix your car? Look for damage? Okay, you need to do it when it's green light.
The mandatory part, I don't see a reason as to why that is the case. Do you, Tommy? Do you see any reason that it actually ticks the pit stop done in terms of the rules?
Yeah, it's a very good point that you totally understand why, because, you know, front wings fall off in a red flag or there's debris or whatever, you could change your tyres, but it shouldn't be that you can now get your pit stop out of the way, because you can argue, oh, but people would have pitted, but then that is the part of a gamble of a red flag or a safety car. We've seen it in the past where this red flag rule has actually helped create a crazy result or given someone an amazing advantage. And it's one of those things, unfortunately, where if this rule was a thing and there was a red flag and somehow it made like Logie Sarge win the race, we'd all be going, oh my god, like that was crazy because it created this amazing lottery. But when it's there is nothing worse for the Monaco Grand Prix, which, however much I love it, I know people's frustration with it, and the only thing, particularly now, it's it's a one-stop unfortunate race. That is the thing to look forward to, and the whole jeopardy of the race is that first stop. So for that to be cancelled out on lap 1 was basically like, just give Charles the trophy now. The race is over. Like, it turned into a one-corner Grand Prix from the start of that race, and that is what was so painful. I think from it, that was like, oh no, that's killed this race, because there's, you know, there were so many narratives if that race had carried on, and so many stories that could have been interesting, because you had the two McLarens together.
Yeah, Leclerc could have been 100% equally happy, and all other people that were watching would be also happy, because it was not a boring race to watch, or less boring.
Charles would have then had to like make his pit stop and all that just gone, all the jeopardy of the race gone because of that rule. And it was always going to be like, even the mediums, like George Russell did 77 laps on mediums, like, you know, that's another debate, like, should a medium tyre last 77 laps? But then they're going so slow, aren't they?
Quicker than most out there at the end as well,
exactly.
Which is crazy to look at. But yes, I don't get it. I don't see why that's allowed. Monaco, it was very much a case of, oh, you thought I was boring, huh? Well, let me show you something. And then it was just free practice 4. That's all that was that we saw today. In fact, actually, free practice has more overtakes than that race.
Free practice was more exciting because there was like moments where they're like brushing the wall and stuff. And
exactly.
That where they were just cruising, because they knew everyone's done their pit stop, and it was the first time in Formula One history that the top 10 stayed the top 10 for the race.
That's the first time ever.
Ever in history, yeah.
Holy moly!
And
Monaco
the sad reality is, it was so predictable from the second that red flag was waved, because it's Monaco. The cars are so reliable now,
and everyone was pushing to about 70.
Well, if last Stroll had been in the top 10, then something more could have happened.
5% of their capability, which is not what you want to watch. So that beautifully segues us into the next question from P1 Patreon member Chillar. How can we fix the racing at Monaco?
Here we go.
Well, from what I've seen, let's see if we go to the map. I believe this could maybe do something. If you just make this straight, have the DRS over here, and make sure it's safe, really safe, that like build something, a wall or something that is not this what do you say, this wall, or what kind of stuff it is here. It's not there, so it's safety, and then you can just drive just straight, have your driving close to someone, and then you get the errors, and you can hopefully get easily past. This fix, I believe, could maybe make the race more interesting.
Smaller cars or more overtaking opportunities?
We need to.
Well, look, we've got the cars.
No, go away. So many ads.
Thing about them, they're not going to shrink them, not anytime soon anyway. So myself and Tommy were discussing sort of small things you can do to Monaco that perhaps would help. Doesn't change the character of Monaco.
Remove it.
And it all comes at the final corner. Just smooth that out, okay? Because not only is it like quite a fiddly line.
Oh yeah, you should also fucking fix.
Last corner, one of the worst in racing games, I will admit. The way it drops down, just the off camber of it makes it even worse for the driver behind to try with aero wash to get any kind of run down one of the shortest straights in Formula 1 with DRS, to get any...
Well, it's more easy just to make this straight.
Sort of sniff into turn 1. If you just smoothed it out, made it a little bit flatter, and it's a bit
or flat this out, so it's straight.
Easier to get traction out of, maybe we would see one overtake. That's all. That's all we want, just one. Because, yeah, apart from that, there's not much you can really do.
Oh yeah, they don't even show anything but
about Monte Carlo, because it's all very, very set
well,
in
at least
Monaco. And as soon as you start changing it any more than that, you may as well just go race somewhere else, because it wouldn't be Monaco anymore.
Exactly. Ironically, if you look at a track map of the 1950 Monaco layout, it's actually a better layout for race.
Oh shit. Let's see. We go there. F1 Monaco 50 race track. Let's see. Why did it? Back to the map. And then we go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, wait. I mean, their sail was somewhat straight. Nice. That is the same. Yeah, what the fuck do they have? Yeah, fucking remove this area also. That's so fucking stupid. So yeah, they should go back to how it was. And stop all this fucking stuff to slow down the car, because holy shit, it's just make everything flow so badly. Nobody can overtake, and it's just boring.
Because they don't have the Raskas, they don't have the swimming pool, and it's one little chicane after the tunnel. So they come out of Tabac, they go straight on, then it's a hairpin, and then straight on again to Saint-Devote. So that is the most annoying thing. I've seen a lot of people go, oh, you know, get rid of the chicane after the tunnel, or make DRS longer, or all this kind of stuff. And I don't think it would work. But what I do,
you don't think it would work? Why not try it? I mean, like, can you really make Monaco more boring than it is?
Do think would work is if you just made that final corner. It is such an irritating corner. I don't think Monaco should change us so many times, but like that one wouldn't change the essence of what Monaco is and keep.
This will not even change how Monaco is either. Just make it straight and not having this retarded left, right, left.
It like that layout like it's been for years and years. But you just open up that final corner because it's so annoying watching them come around that final corner.
And also, yes, open up this retarded going so weird.
Where you would get a run down the straight. Because we have seen overtaking down that main straight in loads of other series where they can follow a lot closer. You know, Formula E has like 150 odd overtakes there every year. Formula 2 had overtaking. We've seen it in other series, and we've seen it in the past in Formula 1. But it's just it's just that final corner that it's not even just one corner. It kind of comes in and
this is also part of the problem.
And sticks out again, and it's just
10,
so
11.
difficult for traction and just separates the cars.
I think if we're going to race at Monaco, we have to accept what the track is. Maybe that tweak that we've mentioned, but it has to be more around these pit stops, these mandatory pit stops. Have 100%. 2 of them at Monaco. You have to change.
Oh, that's also my idea. Having 2 pit stops. You have to do 2. I mean, now try it out. If Monaco becomes more interesting by having just 2 pit stops, then how much more interesting can every other race be if it's 2 pit stops also?
Try compounded tyre twice, or you have to use the soft, the medium, and the hard.
If that was a rule, a 2 mandatory tyre, like a 2 mandatory stop, then even if you did have the red flag rule, it wouldn't matter because there's still going to be that jeopardy of a pit stop.
And then Kevin Magnussen crash again, and it will become one more red flag again.
And that is something that I think they were bantering about it because they said 5 stops, but George and Max were talking about in the thing where like, oh god, that was so boring, wasn't it? Like something does have to change, which is ironically exactly what I said.
Maybe it is a good thing that this race happened because the drivers, they really showed how boring and unhappy they were after that race. So hopefully that will show the organizer or the FIA or F1 that we maybe should fix this Monaco problem. One more fish for the collection. How many more can we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. 10 or less than 10 more fishes I can get. Until I need to go down and place them in the chest.
It would happen with Max when he wasn't winning the race, that he'd basically be like, wow, now I understand what this race is like for everyone else now, because you're stuck and you can't overtake. But if you had 2 stops, there were 2 stops in 2011, and it was an exciting race, kept you guessing to the end. You had 3 drivers on 3 different tyres battling out at the end. And even if it is really hard to overtake, you know, at least you're seeing them kind of push and go for it. But as soon as there's 1 stop, it's kind of game over. And there's surely something that like Pirelli can do just for this one race. I understand that they didn't want to go back as a car company because it's not a great look for them to have tyres exploding like they did at Silverstone and stuff back in like 2013 and 2011. But just for the Monaco Grand Prix, like, we shouldn't be having a medium tyre that can last 77 laps. Like, that's just not...
Oh, that's something they could also have. You can only drive on the soft the whole race. So it's like 2 pit stops. You can only drive on the soft, and if you use the tire too much somewhere else, then that's your problem.
Right, that's not the point of what Pirelli were bought in for in the first place, and the point of
God. Then we have, let's see, go back. You fix this one, fix this one, you fix this also. Like you change back to how it once was. 2 pit stops is needed to be done, and only the red tires, the soft tires, and then it's just instead of a boring sprint race that mostly sprint races are, it will be you can say 3 sprint race in one race. 1 start and then 2 more sprint races in the race. And then we'll see. But that will probably not happen.
Running different tyre compounds is the fact that they're not meant to last. So I think there's that is the easiest fix in the world.
Monaco should be a test ground on all the new super soft tires or like that. Whatever you want to bring into another circuit, do it in the Monaco first.
Well, just to do that.
Next question and final question comes in from Moulin d'Or. F1 needs 2 stops, or at least a way to force multiple stops. If we have a sprint gimmick, DRS gimmick, change in top 10 starting compound rule from Q2 runners gimmick, let's not pretend we can't do it because it's a gimmick. We want gimmicks.
Spot on. No, I think this is absolutely spot on. Like,
it's true. We do talk about gimmicks. We don't want to, and then we go. Actually, we've got DRS. We go.
Let's. And also, you cannot claim that you can't do something special with Monaco when you have 6 random races a year. That's like, let's just do a third of the race on Saturday.
True.
As well.
Very true.
Like you can't. Which also that makes a weekend different to another weekend. So why can't they just embrace? Because it pains me to say it, but Monaco will fall off the calendar if you have that race for the next 10 years. Well, even if you have it the next 5 years, it probably won't last that long.
If Leclerc wins every single one of them, I will personally back it.
And it is sad because I know that and it's always 50-50 every time you do a poll of like, do you like it or not? And there's a lot of fans that don't, and I understand why. But for the fans that do love it, it will be sad the day it goes. So
fix it.
Try something. I think it is time to try something.
I like that. What a beautiful way. Why don't you try something today, if you're listening? Hey, try something new. Let's go to biggest winner, driver or team. Charles Leclerc. Next question.
See who more? Alex Albon and Williams, the first 2 points. Gasly's first points. Yuki Tsunoda got some more points. Oscar Piastri got his a second place podium. One more fish for declaration. That's it, I think.
Yeah, easy. Charles Leclerc, gotta be. Finally winning Monaco.
Say it again. Say it louder. Come on. Say it again for me. Come on, please.
Charles Leclerc, Monaco winner.
My God. Biggest loser?
You should say Monaco, boring race winner of Monaco. Charles Leclerc.
Alpine. No, they scored a point. Haas. Haas, definitely. I think Haas completely out before they've even got to the top of the hill through K-Mag Masterclass. It's going to be Haas for me.
Yeah. Haas or Alpine, just... I think...
Alpine, Gasly got a point. Are you stupid?
Alpine scored a point, but it's just unnecessary drama for them, and I think it could
blame Ocon, not the team.
Linger on. And Perez is a great shout because, of course, the people going it wasn't his fault, but like you said, he qualified 18th in the first place, and you're always vulnerable, particularly when you're side by side with Kevin Magnussen on the first lap of the race.
You certainly are. Let's now go to our predictions that we made on Wednesday and see how we did. It is 20 apiece with myself and Tommy, but not for long. Let me just settle in here. Let me cook. Because my God, I got my Charles Leclerc spices on this weekend, didn't I?
I'll give you. You've had 2 years to wait for this.
You're sick. You really are. You God. Biggest good surprise. I went for Charles Leclerc.
Well done.
Give me that point. Yes. 1 point.
Well done. I went for Yuki Tsunoda, who was best of the rest for about the 8 millionth time.
I think you did say 7th, though. If I recall. You did say, a little P7 or something. You finished 8th.
Still biggest good surprise.
Very shocking. Yeah, no, fair enough. He scored points. Well done.
He's
well done, you
a great season.
Right, we now go to this next one, which I don't care about, but I will preface this. No, I will post-face this. So, biggest flop, Oscar Piastri. Now, I am aware that my biggest flop streak, well, to the average citizen, the biggest flop streak has ended. However, let me just say that I think I deserve the full point. Do you know why?
Nope.
Because Oscar Piastri did not actually take part in the Monaco Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri Leclerc did. If you take a look at FP1 session standings, it quite clearly states Oscar Piastri - Leclerc. That is, Oscar didn't even take part.
So you predicted a driver that didn't even race, and therefore...
I mean, that's a bad weekend for Oscar.
But you didn't... Okay, sure. That's... But you need to say Leclerc also in that... If that should work.
No, you need to be massing it the other way because you're going to have a massive lead now.
Well, obviously, I'm not going to get a point. Well done, Oscar. You overthrew me. An incredible weekend from Oscar. Very impressive. And the biggest flop streak has come to an end. So, well done, Oscar. I hope you're happy.
And I went for biggest flop, Charles Leclerc, and 2 words I'll say for that. You're welcome.
Oh, don't you even try. Don't you even try. I mean, your biggest flops are
My biggest flop always
so...
becomes the GOAT, so...
No! Oh, fuck, so many ads. Why? Why you do this to me? This is just 5 seconds. And then we are back.
Flops are
My biggest flop always
so...
becomes the GOAT, so you're welcome that the curse finally broke.
Oh dear, thanks mate, really appreciate it. Let's get a pole position. Charles Leclerc.
Double E. Well done.
Man is cooking out.
Oh, is it like double points if you pick someone else than Max Verstappen?
Yeah, so can I just... Where's the double points being given out
true.
for Max Verstappen not being it? Let me just remind myself.
It is pole, isn't it? Yeah. Oh,
pole.
For God's sake, I forgot about that.
Thank you very much. 2 points.
Oh, and what's really annoying is I went for such a rogue choice in Oscar Piastri, and he did almost do it. So
yeah,
no points.
No, 0 points for rogueness, mate. Sorry. And then our top 3. Now again, is it double points for a different winner? That's correct. Because I think it was.
Don't think so. Was it? Is it?
I'm pretty sure if we go against Max Verstappen winning, I think it is. It's double points galore here, mate. It's absolute cash money.
I can't believe you're cashing in on this. I mean, if your weekend wasn't good enough already with Leclerc winning, you're just absolutely romping away.
Don't worry. I'll get the tips and tricks from old Massey to see what we can do.
Man's predicting Logan Sargent to win next race so I can catch up.
He's going to win. Lance Stroll's winning Canada. You see, you heard it first. So in 3rd place, I said Max Verstappen. That didn't happen. He finished lower than that, which is quite insane for me to say out loud.
I went for Lando Norris. Wasn't on the podium.
No, close, but no cigar. 2nd place, I went for Carlos Sainz. Close, but...
The believers think about Carlos Sainz.
Absolutely not.
P2, I went for Charles Leclerc.
And the winner of the Monaco Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc.
Double points, well done.
Double points again, thank you very much.
And I went for Oscar Piastri, and oh my god, I cannot believe that I got a top 3 where I correctly predicted that Max would be nowhere, and I'm getting no points from it. I'm absolutely gutted. And also, so after the start of the race, I remember thinking, like, oh my god, if like Oscar gets Charles on the restart, and I got like that would have been Piastri, Leclerc, Norris, and I would have cashed in that for the rest of my life.
You really would
have.
But
I can't believe he actually was quite close to winning with the Grand Prix after that. So I might have to take my glasses off for the next prediction because clearly it's the closest I'm going to get.
Glasses Tommy and beard Tommy coming out as well. Have you shaved?
Going down.
Is it still there? I can't tell because it's a bit pixelated.
Well,
oh my god. For those watching the video podcast, you are going to be very excited. This is quite something. Tommy looks 19 years old now. It's incredible to watch. Okay, and then our one crazy prediction, I said Charles gets a Grand Chelem. It wasn't far away.
No, it wasn't. Who got fastest lap in the end?
Lewis Hamilton. And we have a trident that we can remember get. And he missed to mention that in the funniest tweets ever. Maybe that's not funny. Second time this happened.
I want to say...
no, was it Hamilton?
It is.
Actually, no.
I cannot remember.
Did they even put it on the race? I don't think they even put it on the race.
It was Hamilton. Yeah, it was Hamilton.
It was?
Yeah, because Hamilton took it from Max quite quickly afterwards.
So fastest lap, it was Hamilton with a 14.165.
This shows this race, like in a dry race, Hamilton's fastest lap was 2 seconds quicker than Piastri, who finished second. What?
A 16.2 for Oscar Piastri.
Yeah.
Zhou Guanyu had the third fastest lap with a 14.7 in a tractor.
Logan Sargent's fastest lap was quicker than Piastri's.
And Lando Norris's.
In fact, Zhou Guanyu was last, and his fastest lap was quicker than Charles Leclerc's fastest lap. Now that's a stat.
No, but he pit. At least
I know,
Zhou
but it's
pit
still.
for a fresh
I know,
set.
but it's still wild.
Yuki Tsunoda didn't, did he? Or did he pit?
No,
I think he did.
Pit. No, he didn't pit. How's Yuki done?
Did he not?
14.7.
Has he done a 14.7? Yuki Tsunoda, I mean, to be fair, Yuki was going.
He was holding
8 seconds
everything
a lap
back.
slower.
He probably had like 50 lap. He'd probably used like 1% tyre wear that whole race because he was a minute behind, wasn't he?
Valtteri Bottas's fastest lap was on lap 17. I mean, that just... I don't know what that tells you about his race. Everyone
it's
else's
a ridiculous race. Like it is just
ridiculous.
Hilariously
I love
novel.
Monaco so much. Okay, and then the 3 crazy predictions from you.
Yeah, the copium thinking Monaco is a good race.
And foremost, P1 Patreon member Heather, more or less.
That I can say. Remember, it was one time a good race. Now it isn't.
Charles breaks his Monaco curse and wins. Oh yeah. P1 Patreon member TVR driver Max in the wall. Oh no. And P1 Patreon member Sir Brienne, Matt's biggest flop streak finally ends.
In the wall.
Oh yeah, but no. Thanks, Oscar Piastri.
But
good prediction from fans this week, actually.
Yeah, very.
Because Max did say
me.
on the radio he hit the wall, so I think he'd be claiming half a point there.
Ooh, Max in the wall, hit the wall.
2.5
half
points.
a point. Yeah, well done. And then you got 1.
Well, it should be 1 point because he was in the wall.
And I got 5.
Wow.
That is a beautiful little 4-point lead going into Canada.
Let me just WhatsApp Michael Massey and get him in for the next podcast.
I'm sure he'll be there in a heartbeat. And Tommy, that sums up. I love, by the way, how the longest podcasts we have are the ones where nothing we just spent, I think, probably with edits, about 50 minutes talking about lap 1, turn 1.
That is so funny because I literally said this when we were leaving F1 Arcade to someone that I was discussing with them, and it's like, oh, it was not a great race. And I was like, ironically, normally our podcasts are really long when there's a rubbish race because we essentially get to like rant about what things need to be changed and all this kind of stuff. And that is exactly what's happened again. So hope you enjoyed it.
Hope you did as well. So in a nutshell, Tommy, should Monaco stay?
No.
Yes,
hello,
absolutely.
Wait. They should stay if they change it. Otherwise, they should maybe remove it.
And I will echo the thing of try something with it. I think there's been enough times drivers now have said something. I actually really liked that question from Moulin d'Or. That the fact like that is really like that's really hit there. That's like, yeah, we do have gimmicks, so
why not have another gimmick
like,
to make
you can't. Why not?
Why not indeed? That's a great way to end this Monaco Grand Prix podcast. And I will say my final thought is that Charles Leclerc is the king. We absolutely love it. He's won the Monaco Grand Prix. For all of you doubting him, he went through a load of criticism after a few weekends of being
probably from retards.
A tenth of a second slower than Carlos Sainz, who was having some lovely weekends himself.
P4s and P3s.
Yeah, well done. Carlos had a great couple of weekends. Charles was then apparently washed. And how does he bounce back? He wins the Monaco Grand Prix. Thank you and good night.
See, 37.
Mic drop.
Yeah, 305.
Bye.
1,305. Plus 37. Okay, go away. Now it's time to end this by placing down all the fishes where they should be. So for now we are over 1,300 and so we will see how many fishes we'll then later have to remove. Nope. See, clayfish cyan. Do we have a clayfish cyan? No. And that was the only 100% same color. Where do we get all the fishes? Yes. And now it's time for... oh shit. Should place it here. Okay, black and red. Do we have any black and red? Yes, we have. Let's start pouring. Magenta lime. Magenta. We need to... magenta lime. That's done. And then we have blue, yellow. Wait, no blue. No, it must be blue, yellow. Wait, what? Oh, there we have blue, yellow, blue, yellow. One more boring fish. Gray, purple. Orange, lime. There we have at least a fun fish. Where do we have it? Orange light. Orange. Did we have one more? The cyan green. No, we have cyan green. And we could remove that chest now. Blockfish, blue, purple. Light gray lime. Can we have one light gray? Light gray lime. Nice. And we move that away. Wait, what? fuck? Fuck, did they do a mistake? Oh wait, did I? Oh my god. Oh, there we have the mistake. Oh my god, that was... Okay, that mistake is solved. Okay, blockfish. Lime purple. Lime purple. What do we have more? Briny. Yeah, it's briny now. Red and blue. And there we have the red and blue. The fuck? There we have the... And copperfish. White and green. White is here. And also green. One more copy. Let's see, 5. Yep, now it's down to 1,300 tropical fishes. One more and we're under 1,300. Gray and purple. Yeah, we are on the now. $1,299. Time for the clayfish. Purple gray. Nope. Yellow. Yellow magenta. Gray. Pink. Orange. Orange, pink. You have the grey, pink. Pink, cyan. Oh my god, so many fishes. A copy is purple, grey. At least the collection is growing slowly. Purple, grey. Fuck me, what was it? Purple, grey. Oh my god. The oh my god, fuck me. Why should it be so annoying? Trying to do it fast and then it just nope. Dasher. Nope, not Lewis Hamilton. The Dasher. Green. Green, black. Nice. Yep, Lewis Hamilton. Flopping Lewis Hamilton in a Mercedes. At least we have the black Mercedes Lewis Hamilton flopper, but not the grey one. No silver, no flopping silver arrow for Lewis Hamilton. At least for now. Oh shit, and Dasher. White, red. Now it's time for the cob. Nope, geese before that. The glitter one. Oh my god, so many copy fishes. Cyan, orange. Nice. And then we can continue. Okay, cope. Yep, all it done. Snooper. Spotty. Stripey. Sunstreak. Oh shit, this lose something. No. What the fuck? The black screen. For some reason. What the fuck is flopper? That is over here. Magenta red. Didn't I do this? No. Brown, black. Brown, black. Nice. Light gray. Light gray, black. Yellow, green. Now we on the cob, blue and purple. Cyan, light blue. Purple and green. Blue and yellow. Men I should maybe name all the shots. Oh my god, I missed it. Blue, oh fuck me. Blue and yellow. Maybe I should do it now. Something to get really many. Blue and yellow, pink, light blue. Yep, light blue. You have how many is now? 4, 8, 12, 14. is soon 1290. Blue cyan. Light blue red. Blue light gray. We have blue light gray. Oh shit. Blue. Orange and red. Light blue, brown. Oh, the sunstreak. Light blue. Oh, god damn it. Cyan brown. Oh, pink purple. And now it's time for doing the more boring stuff. To make sure I didn't make a mistake. Butty, black and red. Blue and yellow. Green. Oh man, so many Butty. Cyan, green. Man, so many copied fishes. This is so boring. Red, blue. At least tomorrow it will be probably about 1300. Red, blue. Brightly white, green. No, green, white was here. Gray, purple. Yellow, magenta. Gray, pink. Pink cyan. Magenta red. Why can't we have it? Light gray, black. Blue, purple. Blue, yellow. What the fuck? Oh shit. We need to go here. And I'm on my snooper. Pink, light blue. Oh, not spotty snooper. Pink, light blue. Blue, light gray. No, it was stripe. That's snooper. Yep, copy. Light blue. Come on. Wait, wasn't it light blue brown? What do we have? Light blue brown, light blue brown. Then pink purple. No mistake. And how many is it now? 8, 16, 18. Minus 18. See, 5, then it's 13, 10, 90, 87. Three 90, 10, 300, 5. Yep. So 1287 we have now collected. And now we just go and release all these fishes. Yeah, here we could release them. Okay, what do we have? Black, red, blue, yellow, gray, purple, cyan, green, red, blue, white, green, gray, purple, yellow, magenta, gray, pink, pink, cyan, magenta, red, white, gray, black, probably, blue, purple, blue, yellow, pink, light blue, brown, pink, purple, light blue, gray. And now we have 80 more fishes in the colorful tropical fish territorium. Oh my god, so many. It would be so depressing if they turn back how it once was when axolotls can spawn in places like this. All these tropical fish will get wiped out in one day. And now it's time to just place us where it should be. And then we can end the stream. Let's see, can I get any lost fish? Nope. We can kill a zombie. And back to the cat sounds. And we should write this down. 1,000 Was it 87? 1,287. Yep. And yeah. See, we should. Can go back here. And yeah, next race will be Canada. Will it even be anything in the car? June 9th. Oh, it will be in the car also. So Formula 1 weekend with IndyCar. That will be maybe fun. Where are they? Road America. I don't know. Yeah. But until then, I will say bye. Oh shit.